here's some more Unit 1 practice. Again, the idea is to watch this video. I'm going to give you a couple questions. Answer the questions on your own, and then pause the video, and then play it again to see if we have, the similar answers or compare our answers to each other. So basically, please remember to don't pause the video yet, but after I'm done asking the questions, then go ahead and pause the video. Right here, LeBron James, right here, this is a box and whisker for the points LeBron James has scored over the last 80 games. And that information is important. So this whole thing stands for 80 games. I want you to answer two questions. One, how many games did he score below 20 points? So that's how many specific games did he score below 20 points? And two, what percent of the time, and that's percent now, did he score above 30? Okay, go ahead and pause the video and then watch it, and I'll explain the answers. All right. So hopefully you got a chance to answer those two questions. First of all, there's two differences in these questions. One of them asks how many games, the other one asks percent. So if I want to know how many games, I need to know how many games this whole thing stands for. And since the whole thing stands for 80 games, if I want to know each part in a box and whisker, there's quartiles, which means they're quarters. So if I take 80 and divide it by 4, since there's 4 quarters, I get that each part stands for 20 games. So right here stands for 20 games. Right here stands for 20 games between the median and the lower quartile. Right here stands for 20 games, and right here stands for 20 games. In fact, no matter how big or small these quartiles are or how wide or spread out they are, it still stands for 20 games. And I got that again from doing 80 divided by 4. So how many games did he score below 20? Well, the 20 is right here. So how many of the quartiles? Well, you can see that there's only one quartile that he scored below 20, and that would mean that there were 20 games. If I asked how many games he scored below this point, it would be 20, 40, and then 60. But because I'm only talking about this part right here, there are 20 games that he scored 20 or fewer points. The second question is, what percent of the time did he score above 30 points? Well, right here is the 30. And I can see that it's this quartile and this quartile, the two quartiles that are above the 30 mark. So there are two quartiles, and each of them, remember, percent-wise, each of them stand for 25%. So the median gives us the two 25%, or half of our data. So this answer would be 50%. 50% of the time he scored above 30, and he scored 20 games he scored actually below 20 points. I hope that helps.